Hi, I'm Maya. I'm a second year history student at Keys. Welcome to this video where we give advice specifically for students in year 10 right now, although you'll hopefully find this video helpful regardless of whatever year you're in.
Hi, I'm Daphne. I'm a second year history student at Keys. The main tip for things that you can get up to in year 10 to help with your application is just to look for opportunities. Be open-minded, be inquisitive, look for opportunities, and if there aren't any, see if you can create any. At my school, there was a tutoring program going on, so I looked into tutoring younger students. There were also opportunities to give assemblies at school, which is a great opportunity to build skills in public speaking, as well as research opportunities. Um, Anything that sort of gives you an opportunity to build on your time management skills, as well as whatever skills come from the activities you're doing, is really appealing on a university application, and also just as a life skill to know that you can do multiple things at once and manage a slightly larger workload than the average year 10 student would.
My main piece of advice for anyone in year 10 right now is to not worry. Honestly, you have so much time until you need to actually submit your UCAS application. You have at least 3 years, and so much can happen within those 3 years. You might end up changing your mind as to what subject you want to do. So, for example, when I was in year 10, I was really set on doing a degree on interpretation or languages or translation. I never really thought that I would end up doing a history degree, let alone at a place like Cambridge. And I think it's important to be open minded at this stage, but also at the same time, be aware of the subjects which you love the most and which you think you show the most potential for. So, for example, I was always pretty good at history at school, and it was a subject which I probably enjoyed the most at GCSE and also at A level. At GCSE, you still studying so many subjects. It's important to be able to pick out the ones which you think you like the most, because often these will translate into your A level choices and thus your degree option. At the same time, fostering a sense of academic curiosity and love for the subjects which you feel an affinity for. So, for example, with history, I went outside of the boundaries of my GCSE curriculum at times. So, and that sounds really fancy, but to be honest, it was just mainly reading Wikipedia, watching documentaries, reading books about the kind of history that I was interested in. And this awareness that you don't have to be limited by everything that you do in school. You can go out and explore things in an academic context willingly and in your own time without an exam at the end of it. I think that kind of academic curiosity is a skill and a trait which will take you really far, not just at GCSE and at A level, but also at degree level as well.
You can start looking at your extracurriculars and your supercurriculars, which are to do with your subject but outside of your course. My main tip to start with would just be don't stress too much. I didn't get started on any of these things until sixth form, really. Most of the things I put on my personal statement I did in year 12. So don't worry yet, but good on you for getting started early. With your slightly lighter workload in year 10, you could also think about reading around your subject. I didn't know that I wanted to study history on its own until year 12, the end of year 12, when I was starting to arrange my application, but I did know that I really liked history when I was studying it at GCSE. So if there's anything that starts to take your fancy from your course, you can ask your teachers for extra reading material. You could ask them for more things that you could read in your own time, either to do with specifically what you're studying or something unrelated, because you need to remember your teachers have done a degree most of the time in the subject that they're teaching you, so they do know a lot and they can help and they can offer advice. So definitely don't be afraid to ask your teachers for materials and opportunities to put the skills that you're learning in your GCSEs to the test. Above all, do not stress too much. Year 10, as I said, is quite an early time to get started. It's not too early if you're keen. It's never too early. Some people like me didn't know that they wanted to study their subject until a few months before the deadline, and that's also fine, and it doesn't disadvantage you at all. As long as you start thinking in year 10 or year 11, around that time, how you can take on more work, take on more opportunities and responsibilities to grow your skill set, put it to the test, have opportunities to prove the skills that you have and to grow your skills, and to most of all just start to find a passion for any subject. Doesn't have to be history. I won't be upset if it's not history. Um, and just, yeah, and try to enjoy it and enjoy the extra time that you have at the moment to really find your passion and enjoyment for your subject.
Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. We really hope that you found it useful. If you have any other questions or ideas or other videos which you would like to see, please write something in the comments below or contact us directly as well.